Y'all, just when you feel like you're starting to get things figured out, those social media platforms change things up on you and you feel like you are starting all over again. And that is totally frustrating. But today, on this episode, I'm going to share with you a few new changes that we are seeing on social media and what you should really do to roll with those changes because they do matter. And as we're approaching the end of the year and summer, we want to make sure that we know what these platforms are doing and how we need to leverage them. If you're joining me, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I always want to know who's with me when I come on live every single Wednesday. And y'all, even if you come back on the replay, I want to know that as well. So drop a hashtag replay and let me know, and we will continue the conversation. Now, if you stumbled upon this broadcast somehow, I'm Erin Bird, and I support dance studio owners and educators to really grow their businesses, all without the overwhelm, the burnout, sacrificing your personal life, because the truth is you don't have to. You can have it all. Hey, 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 good morning, good morning, good morning, or afternoon for some of you, depending on where you're coming from. So let me know where you're coming from. Now, I want to take a little poll before we get started today. And I want to know on a scale of like, let's do it 1 to 3. One, you hate social media. 3, you love social media, but and a 2 is like it's maybe a little bit of a love hate, like you need it, but you hate keeping up with all the changes and the trends. So let me know. 1, you hate it and you're like, ugh, I know I need to do it more, but I don't feel like I'm tech savvy. 3, okay. 2, yes, Heather. Okay, I get it. Because the truth is, can I be real with y'all? That even though you find me and you see me on social media a lot, I don't absolutely love it. And there are platforms that I actually don't even engage with because I don't love it. And I'm like, if I don't love it, I don't necessarily want to do it. And it's not aligning with my big envisioned goals, right? So let me give you an example. Yes, Twitter is a platform, a social media platform, you guys, and I'm not really on Twitter. Like, I may have an account, but I don't do anything there, right? So there are platforms out there that I just don't utilize because the platform itself doesn't speak to my bigger goals, right? So there are some. So let me know on a scale of 1 to 3, love it or hate it, or love hate relationship, somewhere in between. I want to know. Now, here's the thing. I will tell you guys, I am a firm believer in learning out loud. 2, you don't mind social media. Awesome. So I don't mind it. But I could also tell you that sometimes it could be, I don't know about you, but for me, even, I'm like, ugh, it's totally frustrating. Having the time to create, yes. So I totally gear you and I totally get it. Um, I believe in learning out loud around here. And so obviously when I'm doing these lives, it's not like I can bring you on and you're like, Erin, let me tell you, but how do we learn around? Hello there. Hey, hey, hey. So how do we learn out loud here? We learn out loud by engaging right here in this comment section. Because what happens is when you hear a really great nugget and you're like, oh, that's kind of an aha, or I want to take that away, drop it in the chat below. You can just drop it, aha, or nugget or whatnot. What it does is it also anchors in that idea for you and it helps you really, sit with it and maybe implement. What it also does is for those people who are coming in on the replay because they just couldn't make it live, they're like, ooh, I better lean in and listen because this is a good nugget. Because I saw that Heather was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Right? Or I'm calling you. I'm calling you. But my friends. So don't be afraid. Drop a hashtag nugget or a takeaway. But let's go ahead and dive in today on rolling with the changes. Oh gosh, y'all, I'm gonna start singing for you. Here's a few. Now I can't go into all the social media updates because as you and I both know, they are ever changing. And there's some things that have come out that really won't be big deal for y'all. And there's some things that I think are going to be really important and things that we should be doing right now to get ourselves geared up for summer and enrollment rolling in. Anyone want to hear about that? Because we have some things that we're seeing are working really, really well. And so I am willing to share with you if you want that. Let me know. Drop in the comments below. Do you want to know what strategies are working on social media for summer enrollment right now? Say yes below if you do. If not, we can leave it off of today's broadcast. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive into some of the newest changes that we are seeing. Okay, I got a couple yeses. Some of the newest changes that we're seeing across some of the platforms. So, you may or may not have seen, I feel like the last couple weeks, we have gotten a lot of love notes from Uncle Marky. Right at the Book of Faces. And so some of the things that are rolling out, let me know if you've seen these coming out. Now, I don't know if you know, but at any time there are um, multiple, what do you want to call them, editions of these platforms out there. So, what I see on my Facebook feed may not be, or the same features, the same sort of things may not be what you're seeing. At any time, Facebook, they have, I think it's like six different versions of Facebook out there that are actively running, testing, collecting data, seeing what the best user experience is, seeing what people like to use, seeing how it's working for people. So there's always multiple um, versions of these platforms that are out there running currently. So you may see some of these things have already come to your version of Facebook or Instagram that you're using. Some saying, right? But they're doing it because what are they doing? They are tracking data, which I'm a firm believer in. They're tracking and they're testing, they're refining, and they're really seeing what's happening. And if one of the versions happens to go down, it's not taking the whole platform down, it's only taking a percentage of their users. So, right? It's crazy because sometimes I'm like, ooh, one of my really good friends who might be in one of my masterminds that I'm a part of, they're like, oh my gosh, did you see this new feature? And I'm like, I don't have that feature yet. A little FOMO over here, right? Because there's some things that they're rolling out in some of these platforms. I'm like, that would be a total game changer for me. But I don't have that feature yet, right? So know that there's multiple versions happening all at one time. Okay, so what does that mean for you? What it means for you is a couple things. The first thing is recently, and I'm sure I've been this has happened for me. I'm sure at some point it's either happened to you or it may happen to you. Chances are likely. How many people have ever had one of their Facebook or Instagram accounts hacked? Me, I have. And it's not fun. It gives you a freaking headache, right? And it feels like such a big pain in the behind, right? When those sort of things happen. Let me know. Have you ever been hacked? Yes. Okay. So, what have they rolled out? So, Facebook, like I said, I got a message from Marky, and they have rolled out their paid service now where you can pay to be a authenticated user. You can get a little blue check mark, and they are going to give you additional actual support. Yes. I know, right? Touch wood, knock on it. I don't know. Fingers crossed for you. But this new feature from Facebook is to help try to mitigate that and to help you get resolved if something were to happen. Now, this is a little insane to me because I know who else has that blue check mark, right? Twitter. But what's a little crazy to me with this is like it feels and I could just be saying this, and these could totally be my own feelings projected on the whole situation. But it's like, you and I both know, if you've ever tried to get in touch with Facebook support, it is not easy to do. It feels like you're trying to reach out to crickets, and it doesn't feel super helpful. So they have added on this, this premium layer basically, where it's now paid, and you pay a monthly fee, and then they verify your identity. They make sure you are you, that sort of thing. And they give you additional access to their support. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, one of the things that I'll tell you is right now they're rolling this out to personal or public figure pages. Um, it feels like a little bit of a money grab, right? But what they're rolling it out to first is they're rolling it out to like the personal pages, public figure pages, so like celebrities, things of that nature. So they're rolling it out and testing it with this demographic first. But what could this mean for you, and what do I see it could mean for you in the future? Well, a lot of us don't realize that there's some steps that you have to do to own your business page. And so I'm not going to get into all of that today, but what I can see happening in the future is they are going to take and apply this to business pages and things of that nature. And so just know that coming into the future, like, what does that mean for me? And so could it feel like a money grab? It could. But I feel like in a way they're rolling it out kind of like an insurance policy, right? We all pay for insurance because we hope that we will never need it, but it's there if we do. And I kind of think that that's their thought process on this. And it does seem kind of silly to me to, say, oh, well, if you pay us, we're going to actually give you some support that we should have given our customers anyway. But so just know that little blue check mark, the verified page, that is coming. If you haven't seen it yet, I can foresee in the future where that might be coming out to you. All right. So we can talk more about that. If you have questions, let me know. But I can tell you, if you haven't seen it pop up as an option yet in Facebook and Instagram, know that it more than likely is going to be coming your way soon. All right, so that's the first update. Now, here's another big update that came out on Instagram. How many of you had started joining in the whole reels are the way to go? Everyone do the reels. That's what they want. Reels, 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 right? They were pushing reels so heavily to fight, or I shouldn't say, to compete with TikTok, right? So reels were their answer to competing with TikTok. And I think I've shared with you before, they were pushing those so heavily. For some users, they were paying them to create reels. I was one of those people. I got paid to create reels for Facebook and Instagram. Now, I wasn't one of the people who got paid thousands and thousands of dollars, but I did get paid for some of the reels that I created because that was their push. They wanted people to create reels. It was all the thing. Let me know, did you get in on the reels thing? Well, I could tell you with the reels, I resisted them because I could get on here and we could talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and I have no problem with that. But for me, it gave me a little bit of anxiety to be like, ooh, I only have 60 seconds to like get my message across. It does help you to become really clear and concise in a short amount of time. But I may be a shocker to you, but I was not the hugest fan of reels. So what did they come out now? They have come back in and said, oh, maybe we put too much emphasis on reels. And we were using reels to push the algorithms, right? We weighted them too much in the overall picture. So what are they doing now? They said, oh, we want you to go back to graphics and pictures and things of that nature. Okay, now here's my 2 cents for you guys on this. I think anytime that we are creating content for social media, we need to have a variety of options for our consumers, right? So they've come out and said we were weighting reels too heavy. It's not all about the reels. We want to see some photos. We want to see some graphics. We want to see some carousels. We want to see some different things, not just all reels. Okay. So while they did call out specifically pictures and graphics, I don't want any of you to like do a complete flip and stop doing reels completely and switch over to photos. I think we need to have mixed mediums inside of our content. So if you were doing a lot of reels and you kind of started to shy away from photos, from graphics, from carousels, from stories, those sort of things, I want you to look at it as like a buffet, right? And so when you and I go to the buffet, I might choose, I haven't been to a buffet in forever, y'all, but when we go to the buffet, we are probably going to choose different things, right? Because of our likes and our dislikes. I might go to the buffet and be like, oh my gosh, the salad bar looks amazing. I'm going to just get a huge salad. It looks delicious. Where my husband is like, no, I want to go up and I want to get some shrimp or some, I don't know, you guys, I'm going into food analogies, but I hope you guys understand. Let me know. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So my point to all of this is that you need to have a mixed variety. So if you were doing lots and lots of reels, awesome. But maybe instead of 5 reels a week, maybe we do 2 reels, 2 photos, 2 carousels, and a story, right? We want variety in our feeds for our consumers because, if let's be honest, I am not a person who sits and consumes a lot of reels. I'm just not, right? But if I see a really amazing photo that catches my eye, I'm going to stop and actually look at that and read the copy. Or if I see just instead of a reel, I see, yes, right? Text or image driven, right? So what is it? And we have to have a little bit of a variety, right? So you guys who are here with me today, you know that I have a variety. I will post things that are text image driven, but I'm here every Wednesday with you because we have some people who love video, right? And then we take this video because you know me and how I feel about repurposing content, right? We take this video and my team, they turn it into a blog. They turn it into the show notes, which reminds me, if you want a copy of today's show notes, drop the word social below and we will get you over a copy of today's show notes. You see how we do that? Now, so my friends, having a variety is really important. And so sometimes when we get or hear that the trend is the Book of Faces says reels, 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 and we're like, oh my gosh, we got to do the reels. Understand that I believe, and it's not all or nothing. It is not, oh my gosh, we have to do reels or we're not going to be anywhere, right? Or that the algorithm isn't going to work for us. I think consistency trumps trends, right? Consistency trumps trends. And so, what do I mean by that? I think that if we can be consistent and showing up in our social media in a variety of ways, yeah, yes, there is. Oh my goodness, that is a good little hashtag nugget right here. There's an element of puppeteering here. I would agree with you, and I think that that consistency and showing up in a variety of ways is going to speak to your audience in a way than just trying to jump on the bandwagon, right? And honestly, might not be a popular opinion, but if you wait to jump on the bandwagon to where it's already the bandwagon, you're probably already missing the mark, right? So that's why we're here to talk about these new things, because you want to be on the ground floor of them sometime if that's your thing. If social media and you're like, hey, I know how important it is. I'm going to leverage it to its fullest. You want to be on the ground floor when you have some of these tools come out to you or these trends come out, because you can get on them on the ground floor. And then when everyone, you're watching the rise and you're like an early adopter, and that is going to weigh heavily on your algorithm than if you wait to be a late adopter when it's already on its way out. Right? So know that. All right. So that's the little update on Reels. Yes, you can still end up create them, please. But yeah, you want to invest before the hot tip is known, for sure. So that is where being an early adopter, getting it on the ground floor, is so important. All right, that's our Reels update. Now, I've got another little update for y'all. This one I think is going to be super important. Okay, so you may or may not have heard. Let me know. I always want to know where everyone's at and like if you've heard them before. I got water on my nose. Okay, so Instagram is releasing a new feature. This is a new broadcast feature. Now, this broadcast feature is going to allow you to speak to private groups, and you can send out content. Broadcast is exactly what it is. You could record short videos, you could record audio, that sort of thing. And this broadcast feature, why I think it's going to be important, and I was actually talking to Jennifer Randall this morning, and we had a whole discussion about it, about the broadcast feature. And what I think it's going to do for you, it's going to be a great tip or a great tactic strategy for you for your existing students, for your existing customers. This is not a feature that I think that you, as a studio owner, will implore for marketing purposes to new audiences. But I think that it's something that you can use to speak to your current clientele. I think it's going to equate, or we think it's going to equate to, think of like the Band app or like Slack, those sort of things where it's informational. So you are going to be able to utilize it kind of like the Band app or, Slack or, something of that nature. And it's going to be informational. And what it will allow you to do is clean up your regular feed and use your regular feed for actual marketing purposes, not informational purposes to your current clientele. So it is going to allow you to kind of divide and separate the two, and have your feed be forward facing for really selling to new clientele, to talking to your studio values and culture. And this broadcast feature is where you could use it just like Band, to send out informational stuff. Hey, snow day, we're closed, right? Like those sort of things. So I'm really excited to see this broadcast feature roll out. I can't wait to actually try and use it myself. Have you guys seen or heard about the broadcast feature yet? Let me know. I want to know, has it popped up on Instagram for you yet? I always want to know. And I'm like taking a poll of like, who has that new feature yet? Why don't I have it? No, I know it'll roll out to everyone, accordingly. So that is another feature that they've just brought out, that they've just announced. And this is how we see you really using it in the future, to streamline, put everything kind of in one place, but to still separate and have two audiences that you're speaking to specifically. So those are some of the top, I wanted to kind of limit it to the top 3 changes that we're seeing. Now, I have to tell you, I had some people said, yes, they want to know the trend that's working for summer enrollment. So I am going to get there. I promise you, my friends, I will get there. Now, I have to tell you real quick that recently I have been getting some questions on a couple hot topics. Hot topics are this: AI, chat GPT, AI, Jasper, right? I mean, obviously it's come out in the news. I'm sure you're hearing all about AI. So I'm getting a lot of questions about AI. I have to tell you that I have been using AI for the last few years, and it could be a really great tool. I don't believe AI is in place of human connection. If you know me, you know that I am a firm believer that we need human connection. So, how many of you are using an AI tool right now to help create content, to help make things, get through these lists quicker? I mean, AI can help you do a lot of things. It can help you write content, write emails. It can help you. I have a client now who's like, oh my gosh, I use this. I think I could write a book with this, right? Which is kind of bananas. But AI, it is not going anywhere. And I have to tell you that I was talking with someone who, again, is in one of the masterminds that I'm in, and he said something that, like, oh, makes total sense. AI is to the 2020s as internet was to, like, what, the 80s, 90s? So remember when the internet first came and people were losing their mind about the internet? Well, people, if I don't know if you're seeing it, I am definitely seeing it. People are losing their minds about AI. So I'm getting a lot of questions about that. And again, that's a whole nother thing. But AI is, it's, if you don't know about AI, y'all, and tools like Jasper, ChatGPT, things of that nature, there's a few good ones out there. But if you don't know about it and you're not using it, it's something that you might want to invest some time looking into because it will save you time in the long run. All right, so there's that. I'm getting questions about that. I'm getting questions about, Erin, how do I recession proof my studio? So I've got a whole soapbox about that, right? And then, of course, we're getting questions about recital and summer planning and summer enrollment. It's that time of year. We're getting lots of questions about that. I want to tell you those are all topics that we tackle inside of our Empire Roundtable Mastermind. And it is where you get the highest level support, the highest level of training. And if you want more information about that, drop the word roundtable below and you and I will have a private conversation. But we are actually shifting some things over here at Dance Studio Empire so we can really serve our clients, to the fullest and make sure they get all the information that they need. And those are a few of the topics that we dive into. Of course, we talk about lead generation and enrollment strategies, systematizing. Oh my goodness, work-life harmony. How do we juggle all those? Leadership? How do we be good leaders to our people? So those are all some of the things that we talk about inside the Empire Roundtable Mastermind. And so if you want more information about that, we can absolutely talk about that. All right, my friends, are you wanting to know the two trends that we are seeing work really, really well when it comes to summer enrollment and social media? I know that you said yes. We had quite a few people. So the first thing is when it comes to selling for summer, I need you to do something for me. I need you to promise me. Everyone raise your right hand. I'm going to do it right now, right? Raise your right hand. Hey there, Kim. I'm so glad that you joined us. Okay, raise your right hand right now, y'all, because I need you to make me a promise. Erin, I'm acting like I know I'm hearing you. I promise that my summer marketing will align with my values. Promise me. Okay, because here's why I want to say that. We are seeing two trends that are being quite successful when it comes to summer enrollment marketing strategies. What are they? There is two frames of thought, two positions that you can come from that are working. Position number one is fear-based. Now, what do I mean by that? Fear-based marketing is like, are you worried about leaving your kiddo home all by themselves this summer? Right? Those sort of things. Fear-based. Are you worried about them spending too much time in front of the iPad? Fear-based. Right? Fear-based, we are seeing, It works, you guys. And but this is where I come in. Now, the other side, right, is if you're not going to do, it's either pain or pleasure. People buy from two reasons, pain or pleasure. Pain is the fear, pleasure is the feel good, right? So we just talked about the fear and the pain. The pleasure, the feel good is more of coming from a point of like, oh, do you want your kiddo to be actively involved this summer? Do you want them to meet new friends? Do you want them to grow? Do you, or like, right? So there's two positioning stances. Both work. But if your studio, if you sing and say, my studio's values is we're a family, come in, everybody, da da da, like it's love and it's growth and it's community, da da da. Right? Okay, yes, me and Jen we were talking about it too. It's so funny. But if you are that family atmosphere, running ads and running marketing based upon fear is not in alignment. Right? It's not for a lot of you. So when you are thinking about your enrollment strategy for summer, and if you're going to do ads and you're going to be marketing in that way, I want you, that's why I'm like, raise your right hand and say, Erin, I promise, because I want to make sure that it aligns with your brand. I don't like fear-based things. When if you're like, we're a wholesome family and we and so it doesn't, yeah, I know. And so here's the thing. I'm going to tell you that I think it depends on your market and your demographic, because here's what I also know. And I'm going to be very candid and transparent with y'all, because that's how I roll. So for us, we actually use a mixture of pleasure and pain. When I am selling my coaching programs and when I'm selling things, there are things that I need to tap into that I don't want to say it's like act now or you're gonna have to close your doors. That's not the type of fear I'm talking about. But when I look at studio owners and I look at what kind of pain are they in, right? And how can we solve that for them, right? And this could be true for parents too. What kind of pain are they in and how can you solve it, right? Pain of them feeling like, I don't know what to do with my kiddo this summer because they're not going to be in school and I still have to work, right? So, I mean, it can be, you are still solving the problem. So for me, I'm giving you examples, right? So what are some of the things that I talk about when I'm talking about the pain side of it? Like, I might talk about, are you overwhelmed because you're trying to be super mom, super studio owner, super spouse, right? And you feel like, it goes back to that puppeteering, right? You feel like your strings are being pulled and you're being pulled in all these different directions, right? And you may not know a better way to still feel like you can accomplish all those things because you don't have support and someone who's on the outside looking in, right? That is when you see a post and me talking about that, I am talking about pain. And how do we fix that? Well, we fix that by you getting support. And I am very objective about looking at on the inside and saying, well, hey, I see this happening. What if we did this? Here's a strategy. Let's implement the strategy and see what it does for you, right? Or I might talk to the pleasure of like, hey, I know that you want to make a bigger impact in this world. You probably didn't become a studio owner for all the money raking in, right? That is talking to the pleasure, the impact, the feel good. Were those examples helpful? I hope so. I hope so. And I'm all about peeling back the curtain, you guys. I don't mind sharing and telling you and giving you like what we do because we know that it works, right? We know that it works. So when it comes to your summer enrollment right now, as you're thinking about it, and if you have, y'all, if you don't have your summer set right now, this is where I'm going to get on my dang soapbox and I'm going to preach for 2 minutes. You cannot roll out your summer program in May or at the recital, and then when your enrollment's low, be like, I don't understand. I just don't understand what happened. No, y'all need to have your summer stuff set up right now. You need to have VIP enrollment going out to your current students before you open it up to the world and to your community, before you start running ads, before all that. Fill internally before you go outside to get new students, right? It's easier to sell and to get a foundation and a framework of kiddos, a baseline of kiddos that are already in your studio that are going to come for your summer. If you don't have your summer planned out, if you're struggling, let me know. We're here to help. But my friends, it needs to be rolling out. It needs to be rolling out. It is officially March 1st. And there are parents who have already been planning their summer since January. Or actually, well, let me refresh that. There are some parents who started planning their summer in September when their kids went back to school. I'm one of them. I have to, right? Given my schedule. So, again, it talks about that. Don't be, right? I think someone said it, waiting for the hot tip, it's too late. Like, it's the same thing. If you wait until recital, it's too late. It's too late. So, if you need support with that, let me know. We're here, right? But we need to be rolling it out. We need to be thinking about our ads. We need to start collecting it. And I get it. We're up to our ears in competitions and costumes and recital and all of that. But my friends, this is where it's really instrumental and it's key for us to be proactive in our businesses instead of reactive. And I know it can be really hard sometimes because things get thrown at you, life, and it feels like it could be really hard to do. But I promise you, my friends, if we can learn to get and be a little proactive, you are going to reap the benefits and see how it actually frees up more time for you in your life. So I've had a lot of promises. I'm like putting stuff. All right, my friends. So I want to know what today on this call, what was a aha takeaway or a nugget or something that you hadn't heard about when it comes to social media updates? I want to know, did you already know about all these? If you did, awesome. Have you heard something that I don't know about yet? I want to know that as well. But let me know, what was your aha takeaway from today? I always want to know. And my friends, we will be back again next week, same time, same place, for another episode of the Erin Bird Live Show, where we share business strategy, tips, mindset, and all the goodness. And of course, I hope a little bit of joy and a little bit of real talk, y'all. That is my goal every single Wednesday when I come on live with you. So I hope that you all have a fantastic day and that, yes, oh, I can't, before I sign off, this was so good. We have to share. It's actually better to stay the course and be true to yourself in socials. I'm giving you the hand clappers because, yes, absolutely 100%. 1000%. So good. Stay the course, show up, be consistent, right? Magic will happen. And if you are feeling like it's not working for you or you don't know what to do, then the key is to get the support that you need, right? Get the support. And magic will really happen when you get support. So I'm going to leave you all there. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you all very, very soon. And if you need more information or you want to talk about how we can support you, how we can move the needle forward in your business, like I said, just reach out, drop the word support. We have different programs for different needs, and they're all created based upon what studio owners told me that they needed. I will tell you that our next Empire Builders Club, our master class is all about recital madness and how we tackle that. And if you are not part of the Empire Builders Club, and you want more information, let me know. But I'm going to leave you there. I hope that you have a fantastic week, my friends, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye, guys. Have a good one.